everyone, let's wrap up my April reads. Okay, so this month I read 6 books. I'm nearly finished the 7th. We'll see. So the first book I finished this month was Ghosts of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare. I was already like half-ish way. Yeah, but so basically Chain of Gold was in my hands and I hadn't finished reading this yet. So I had to finish it first. I did enjoy it. Again, I'm just not like the biggest fan of short story collections. Some of them were important. Some of them I was like, I could take it or leave it at this point, honestly. I want to say it was The Lost World, the one that has Tithe and, oh my god, I cannot remember names anymore. Yes, the story with Tithe and Livy, The Lost World. I like that because it's kind of hinting towards the next trilogy, which I'm so mad we have to wait so long for. But at least we still have some Shadowhunters content until then. So yeah, 3 stars I guess. And then, no surprise, I read Chain of Gold right after that. Because that's not even, I don't even need to justify myself. Because Chain of Gold. So I liked this, it was fun and fast. There was some good angst in here. I was getting just really frustrated that they couldn't see. I just couldn't see what was going on here, you know. Like, there's someone that's acting kind of dodgy. And there's a reason for that. So yeah, I'm not always the biggest fan of like historical fiction. But I did still enjoy this one. I don't think this is like my favourite Shadowhunters book ever. But it's solid. And I want to see what comes next. After that, I read Tithe by Helly Black, which is the first book in the modern fairy tales trilogy. It did feel a bit dated, but it was fun and fast. But as far as fun and fast books go, it wasn't top shelf. So I just had like 2 stars. It was okay. It was fine, but I wasn't like in love with it. Also, there was a weird thing that I didn't understand, and I reread it and it still didn't make sense, where the love interest kind of knocks her down, pulls her pants down and kisses her hip in a public place. I don't get it. Was it like some fairy dominance thing? It's just never really addressed or explained. Like, it's not an in-joke. They're not even really together at this point. So that was weird. And I wasn't a fan of like, well, just in general with this, I wasn't a fan of the whole rebellious teen, smoking, drinking, doing drugs, because it just felt like an older section of YA but still very juvenile at the same time. So I'm just like kind of worried if like 12-year-olds are reading this and going, oh, they're swearing and doing drugs, but it's okay because it's magic. It's just questionable. Also, just after reading like Sarah J Maas's Fae, I'm just not that keen on these Fae. They're a bit shallow. And I don't like that just everything that's supernatural is considered Fae in this. After Tithe, I finally finished The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This took me like 2 months to read. I'm sure if I just read this, it would have taken me much less time. But I kept putting it down to read like fun, faster books. I feel like it's for a few reasons. Like A, I'm still wrapping my mind around adult fiction because I just am trashed for YA because it's just so fun and fast. And this was the opposite. It was fun at times. Iffy if I'll continue with the series, just because it is so dense and long and there's so many of them, which is intimidating. Very intimidating. But there were elements, so I'm sure I will pick it up. But I don't see myself reading it very quickly. At all. Also, I just want to know more about this world. And there were parts where the same thing kind of happened again. So like, I'm ready for some like time travel paradox, the wheel turns action. I don't know, I just feel like not a lot happened and it was kind of wrapped up quickly but not. I don't know, I want to be well read, and I know this is like one of like the landmark fantasy series out there. It's not my top priority. After that, I read Valiant, which is the 2nd book in this trilogy. I did appreciate like the different kind of setting from Tithe, But this is kind of where we got into like magic drugs and not just like low level. It was like, let's shoot up, which I'm very uncomfortable with. But it's fine. It's fine. I feel like both romances have been pretty weak. Also, I don't really like the side friend characters we meet in Valiant. Just not a fan. And then I read Scythe for the 3rd time. So I just started a book club with my close friends, and that all started because I was just telling people you should read Scythe. It's one of my favourite series. So I was like, you must read it. And they're like, why don't we do a book club? And I was like, yeah. So obviously I had to reread it. I am having a discussion tonight. Hopefully it'll be a good one. And so, yeah, it's still good. Obviously it was the best the first time, but it was great to revisit this after finishing the whole series. And I remember the first time in particular, I was just really not a fan of the romance. Even so, it's not like my favourite romance in fiction, but reading it yet again made me select it. It doesn't completely come out of nowhere. Well, because I felt like it came out of nowhere the first time. But reading it again, like there is a slow build. It's just that the main focus of this series isn't the romance, so that's why we don't see it more. We kind of see it more in the 3rd book at the end, really. But yeah, I'm happy with that just being like a side thing, but the world is what it's all about. This world is probably one of the most fascinating worlds I've ever read. So if you have not read Scythe, read it. It'll make our world seem like a utopia right now, even with Corona. I'm still reading Ironside, which is the last one. So I was hoping to finish it today, but I did get called into work, which was very exciting. They wanted me to come organise the library at our drama school, which absolutely I want to do that. So that was good, but I'm also not knowing if I'm going to finish this. And I'm doing the Medieval-a-thon tomorrow, and I wanted to read this before The Cruel Prince, which is on my TBR. So we'll see. I might do a Sims-a-thon where I just quickly finish this tomorrow and then start my new book. Yeah. Alright, anywho, so those are the books I have reading in April. So let me know if you've read any of these and let's talk about them. Bye!